This is Production Values, the Art of Amdram podcast, a show all about amateur dramatic and musical productions. In this series we will follow amateur productions from the initial idea through to show week. We will include previews of upcoming shows, reviews of shows already open, and take you backstage to hear how it all comes together. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Production Values podcast. I'm Stuart Hanna. As I record this episode, we have just finished show week of Noel Coward's Relative Values, a 3-act comedy by the late Noel Coward. First produced in 1951, it was a successful return to stage comedy for Coward. We had a great week, with well-sold houses each night. The audience feedback was that they loved it, and judging by the laughter during each performance, they definitely did. Initial preparation began back in April with a production meeting to evaluate what could be achieved on the show's budget, followed the next day by a workshop which gave anyone interested in performing in the show a chance to show the director what they can do, without the pressure of an individual audition. At this point, the show was still a production of Quay Theatre Workshop, a community group providing the opportunity for people of all abilities to perform. For 12 years, BTW, as it's known, has performed a Shakespeare comedy in the Abbey Gardens in Bury St Edmunds, and this funded a non-Shakespeare show later in the year, and preparations were already well underway to perform As You Like It. Unfortunately, due to family issues, the two leading men had to drop out and could not be replaced, so sadly after an unbroken run of 12 years there was no Shakespeare in the Park in 2024. This also meant the cancellation of the winter production of Relative Values. Basically, no Bard, no Coward. The producer of Relative Values, Pelham Elliott, is not easily deterred, and with the agreement of BTW he managed to come to an arrangement with the Quay Theatre to co-finance the show, and so Relative Values was back on. Even with both Pelham and the Quay co-financing the show, it required us to work within a very tight budget. From within this money we had to provide props, costumes and set transportation. Fortunately, the cost of the use of the theatre was absorbed by the Quay Theatre itself. A second production meeting was called and plans made for the rehearsal schedule. We then had to figure out how to source essential properties and furniture. Set design was then done by Stuart Devereux, who came up with a clever design that conveyed the faded elegance of Marshwood Hall perfectly. BTW kindly gave us access to their scenery and properties store, which was a massive help. Pelham then decided to lend most of his own furniture to the show. This required the 2 sofas to be recovered in 1950s period material. I priced up the rental of a long wheelbase van to transport the furniture and scenery, and pretty quickly everything that was needed was identified and gathered together. Pelham then set about finalising his cast and crew. The crew is essentially me as stage manager and my wife Andrea as dresser and assistant stage manager, and I couldn't have done it without her. We were also ably assisted by our eldest daughter Rebecca, who played Hollywood star Miranda Frail. But since Miranda didn't make her entrance until a long way into the play, Becky could help with some costume changes and props in the early scenes. Although some casting work had already been done prior to the cancellation, some new faces were cast. The next and in some ways biggest challenge was to find rehearsal space, which is typically expensive. Fortunately, the play itself came to the rescue in that the whole of Relative Values takes place in the sitting room of the fictional Marshwood House stately home. This provided the opportunity to rehearse in cast members' homes, albeit without being able to replicate the set on the correct scale. The only downside really was that the blocking would have to be reviewed as soon as the show got onto stage and on the actual set, blocking being the planning of the actors' movements throughout the play, which would by necessity have to be done on a smaller scale in the more limited space. So, rehearsals began back on September 16th, 2024, and continued 3 per week with 1 each Sunday, beginning with the whole cast gathering at Pelham's flat for a read-through.
So we started from 81 with you two, didn't we?
Yeah.
Until Felicity's interruption. So I think So in Act 2, Felicity, I think we've only not done your bit when you're in with... Because we've done where everybody's in, haven't we? So it is sort of 85 to 89.
It's the bit with you and I, isn't it? Where the cogs are whirring when you sort of, see my arrival. You're like, oh, okay,
yeah, exactly.
I can reacquaint these two former
I don't think what I
flames.
did with you. Right, I have got some stage direction, but I can't read it very well. You'll have a very good recording of me going, I've got no idea what I've written there. You'll
For the
have
record,
not.
this is the director
Yeah,
who's saying he's got no
completely
idea.
lost. He can't read his own writing. Yeah, so we'll do that, and then we will have a look at, and we'll do it 3 times. It's only a few pages, and then we'll have a look at some of the scenes in Act 3 where you're with Don or you're with Miranda. I mean, I haven't fully blocked them, so that definitely, but it will be quite it's quite nice to get a taste of those.
Off then, are you starting from page 8?
Oh, you're off. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we
This
may
is-
as well
I think
start because
this
I want to
is-
get your
yeah.
interruption correct.
This is the bit where Cresswell's just gone off. I'm here on my own, aren't I? I cross over to the drinks.
Well, we're doing it from 85.
Oh, 85, sorry.
Yeah, because we did 81 already. So it's snog. So they're going to end up snogging here.
I'm over this side because then I turn, don't I?
I would love to share more of the read-through and rehearsal recordings with you, but this is not possible due to copyright. However, I have been given permission by the copyright holders to include clips of direction by Pelham. Sadly, this excludes some of the hysterical moments that happened before the cast were booked down perfect with a script. And yes, Tracy, I am thinking of the line about Miranda starring in a film with Edward G. Robinson, where the "did he knock her about" line became "did he knock her up?" I'm still chuckling now, but the recording would have been a classic clip and a massive copyright infringement. The final half-dozen rehearsals then moved to the Gatehouse, a community hub in Bury St Edmunds. That has enough space to replicate the set very closely to what it will be at the Quay Theatre, allowing more accurate blocking to be done. Blocking is hard to do properly on a half-size set in a front room, so these later rehearsals were really important. The costumes were a mix of hired costumes and period clothing owned by the cast, or purchased from useful internet sites such as Vinted and eBay. In my humble opinion, they looked great, and they looked as if they were all hired from a professional costume hire company. A great job done by everyone, except me, of course. I just turned up to rehearsals in my jeans and latest, hopefully amusing t-shirt.
So you will be coming on in a mo, because we're literally starting it just before your entrance.
Oh, right, I'm sorry.
And so you don't get to sit down.
Yes, I want to sit down.
What we'll do is we'll do it from, okay, I'll go. We'll do it
Okay, I'll
from
go.
that. So, so get ready when they kiss. I mean, you've got to give them a bit of time to kiss. How much time do you want to kiss? Do you want to fully consummate this, or is it just a bit of foreplay?
This is the non-aggressive kiss, isn't it?
Yeah, this is
You know.
This is the nice kiss. Oh yeah, this is the.
He says
We'll just
Yeah, he's worried. He's nervous. He's very
This
nervous.
is just a kiss, but the other one's a snog.
Yeah. Oh no, this is quite a kiss.
Yeah,
Both of them you will interrupt.
fully consensual, whereas
Yeah, the other one
like,
wouldn't.
Consensual.
So basically, they will be sort of here.
Yeah, where's my ex?
Your entrance is upstage right.
Relative Values is a satire on class snobbery, written at a time when this class separation was waning and the lower and middle classes of Great Britain were increasingly influential. The play explores the concept of a member of a wealthy and well-connected family deciding to marry a member of Hollywood royalty, a decision that does not go down well amongst his family and the family's friend circle. It also really doesn't go down well with the lady's maid Moxie, for reasons that I won't go into here to avoid spoilers. According to Coward's 1951 diaries, the show idea evolved quickly as follows. 23rd of March 1951. Suddenly evolved a comedy called Moxie. It feels like the sort of play I want to write. 26th of March 1951. 8 pages done of Moxie and rather good. The flow is beginning and oh, the bliss of writing dialogue after prose. 1st of April 1951. Finished the first act. I've decided to change the title from Moxie to Relative Values. If you don't have a production of Relative Values happening near you, I can recommend the film version from 2000 starring Julie Andrews, which is currently on Amazon Prime. My only criticism of the film is that Julie Andrews' performance of Lady Felicity is slightly too likeable. Felicity is scheming and manipulating everyone in the play version, and whilst this happens in the film, there is less reason for Miranda to resent her, and some of the most stinging conversations between Miranda and Felicity are missing from the film. It also features a reconciliation between Moxie and Miranda that is not in the play and for me waters down the earlier scenes between these two characters. Tracy played our Felicity perfectly as a disingenuous and manipulative person, making Miranda's last line to her a perfect retort. So, I believe the audience feedback and reviews prove that even on a tiny budget, creativity and determination show that a high-quality show can be staged and performed by an amateur group worthy of an audience's time and money. Thank you for listening to Production Values. If you enjoyed it, please rate and share the show. This makes a big difference to how many people get to hear it. If you're involved in a production and would like it to feature on Production Values, please get in touch via email by dropping a message to info@stuarthanna.com. Details are also in the show notes.